All right, this is TJ back again with the next part of the series, Deconstruction, Reconstruction. I'm literally reconstructing this strategy for you. Again, we talked about the X factor in the last video, how I measure highly accurate targets with this strategy. Go back and see that video if you missed it. By the way, you'll notice I'm using this beautiful set of charts provided by Wealth Charts. Really having a lot of fun with this platform. If you haven't checked it out, I would recommend that you take a good look at it. It's very powerful. I'm really enjoying it. What we did was we measured an X factor and we subtracted it from our setup bar, and I explained what that is in the prior videos. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up the calculator on this strategy. The calculator does the magic and the heavy lifting for us. What it does is it takes a set of simple rules, interprets them, and then prints trade setups on the chart. In fact, I'm going to move this over to the right edge as if this just occurred. On the third dot, that would be our setup bar based on what I taught you in the prior videos. I'm going to turn on the strategy and show you the trade setup and talk you through it. All right, there it is. What it did was it measured from here to here, and then it put a little plus sign a few ticks below the setup bar. If the price comes down and touches that little plus sign, that would trigger the trade in short. You would then place your trade with your broker. Here's our first target. That's at the 1x. That's after measuring what I showed you in the last video and subtracting it from the setup bar. This is your 1.5x, your second target, and then your 2x. And our stop is up here at these dots. So the stop is this much, and if we can get down to these targets here, we can get some real favorable profit levels. So this is what's happened so far. On the next week, it did come down and get short, and then it pushed lower, and it came down and hit that first target. And that first target was good for around $28 a share. So on a put option, somewhere in the double to triple digit gains, if a put option was placed slightly in the money. And I'll discuss that in subsequent videos. Okay, so again, one would have to take this trade, calculate the best put option, and then when the price came down and hit that target, you would get out of the option. If you were in any additional options, you'd be going for targets 2 and 3, and the stop has also moved down. And now the stop is here right at break even. So worst case is if the price were to come up again and hit that stop, you would just exit the rest of your position for close to break even, depending on the price of the option at the time. But look what's happened since. The stop continues to hold. The price did come up, but the stop is well placed, and then it pushes lower, and now it's pushed through, making new lows, and this is right now, this week, while I'm recording this video, and the potential for larger gains exists on this chart. Now again, I just want to point out to you, this is a hypothetical example, but you can see how these trades can be taken with this strategy and with this simple methodology, using exhaustion, balance of power, and price action itself, and then taking that information, using it to measure targets that are literally tuned to the current condition of the market. Look at the long trade. It's a smaller setup, it's a smaller X factor, and look how it came up and hit that target one perfectly before coming down. There was another setup here, but because we put our entry further up, that's that last piece of confirmation that we need. I'll talk about that in the next video. It prevented the trade from triggering in, and then that trade just canceled. So it was a setup with no trade. How about the prior trade? Much bigger, isn't it? Look at how it came up. Took a little time to develop, but it finally came up and it hit that first target. Then it hit the second target. And look at that perfect third target before coming down and stopping out with the trailer. So I'm going to keep doing these videos, and I will show you how we trail, how we move our stops to break even, how we actually get that additional price action confirmation before we trigger into a trade. There's a lot of things going on here. The beauty of this is that we don't have to think through all this. The strategy and the indicators are doing all the heavy lifting and all the thinking for us. All right, we'll get into that more. We'll continue to unpeel the onion a little further as we reconstruct the strategy in subsequent videos. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. See you on the next one.